back a little bit, just so we have a little chance to. A little bit, maybe. To gain a little bit more blend. So it's like a real semicircle here. What does your D sound like? G?
It's all going a little sharp, actually.
Hello, this is Kevin Mallon, and welcome to Kevin TV. I'm interviewing today dancer Jeremy Nesmith. Hi, Jeremy.
How are you?
Jeremy and I are working on a project for an Aradia concert called Bach +1. It's music of Johann Sebastian Bach with different elements, and in this instance we're doing the second suite, the flute suite. Jeremy's doing choreography and then dancing with 3 dancers. But I remember that we coined this idea about 4 years ago at a party.
That's right, yeah.
We were a little bit drunk and thought it was a great idea.
And luckily it is a great idea, it's fantastic.
And now here we are 4 years later. And you've described a little bit of the choreography. Now I know that you have a background working with Opera Atelier and the National Ballet. So this is a modern, this is not a sort of Baroque thing, it's your own style of doing the choreography. Would you describe it a little bit?
Well, choreographically, it sits, I mean, it's basically a neoclassical kind of style which has some roots in the Baroque, but it's also very theatrical in this particular case.
Right.
And there's also elements of much more modern stuff. So yeah, modern dance and even some club styles are sort of thrown in there for little accents, depending. I mean, Bach is kind of timeless musically, so I wanted to throw in, you know, some sort of styles. We still listen to Bach all the time on the radio these days, and the guy's been dead for 400 years, and so obviously there's a real timelessness to his music.
Right, but there's going to be you and another male and 2 women dancers. And I was thinking about that today when we were working on something like the rondo, where we have like little bits of inegality and things like that. How does that transmit into the dance?
Well, luckily we have 4 very fine dancers, and we'll pick up on those inegalities and we'll play with that in terms of the movement. I mean, we can dance the choreography square, but it's much more fun for us when we do get to draw things out and accent things in a different way.
Right. Well, as part of the concert at the Glendale Studio, this coming Saturday, May 14th, you can get tickets at the Roy Thompson box office, by the way. But we were talking about, we're going to put down a dance mat. Now, that's because the floor was too shiny?
It's too slippery, yeah, exactly. Right. It's a polished wood floor, and when we have to change direction at breakneck speed, somebody's feet is going to go out from under them, so...
Are there lots of kind of jumping stuff and everything?
It's actually, it gets quite acrobatic at times.
Right.
So there's also very sort of languorous legato movements as well, but the concept was that like Bach can be very dense and very sort of, for want of a better word, heavy at times. And that, to me, reflected that sort of like aristocratic ennui. When you have so much power and so much money and so much wealth, the biggest thing to fight is boredom. So these 4 aristocratic characters are in this sort of society where they do have this kind of like ennui, lethargy sometimes. But then they try to break out of that and they try to introduce lighter elements and comedy, but they're always finding themselves sort of restricted by their social expectations.
And will we be able to see that, or is that just is there a narrative? Will we have that in the program?
Well, if I've done my job properly, yes, you will.
We'll see that. So which of the bits are the kind of like club bit then? Which ones?
Well, the most lively piece is the bourrée, and that's for Tyler and I, the 2 guys. Exactly. And this is very athletic, and then there's a couple of sections for improv. Tyler's a fantastic contemporary dancer, so he's going to do that style, and I'm going to draw in some of the club styles as well. Whereas, in contrast to that, the saraband is very, very legato for the 2 ladies. Exactly. And this is all about control, like how to come off of a rise and how to sustain a balance. And yeah, exactly.
Well, that's a little taste of our concert on Saturday. We have a couple of other works. We have, basically it's a Baroque element +1. We have the cantata Ich habe genug, with in the flute version, Virginia Hatfield singing. We have the air from the 3rd suite with an improvisation choir. So there's many elements of this, and we really hope that you'll come to the concert and be inspired by what Jeremy says and the thought of seeing the dancers to the 2nd suite. ta da 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 ta dee dee da 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 dee. No rushes. No rushes. Sure.